Welcome to another podcast of Glazbena Kuća. This one is going to be on English, the first one that's on English, so I'm sorry, I'm going to be like a bit off my language skills. So today's guest is Vincenzo, my good friend.
Hi.
My good friend that connected with Glazbena Kuća like 2 years ago.
It was in 2023. Yes.
2023, yeah, like
Yeah, was our first
approximately 2
project
years
was
ago,
in
yeah.
April, I think. So it's 2 years now.
So welcome to Glazbena Kuća once again, and thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me to this podcast.
Yeah, it was very nice to cooperate with you on that kind of project. It was like a first experience also for me, like on Erasmus Plus project, and it is also a thing that I would like to do in the future. So you came like something from heaven to Glazbena Kuća to give your energy and all your nice work, all your good work that you are working. So I'm interested like in your past, like how did you came up with the idea to do that stuff? You come from Italy, from Sicilia. How did you start to combine the music and the work? So
first of all, thank you very much, because you see heaven, if there is something above heaven, it's Glazbena Kuća. So first of all, I mean, it was a nice experience. I know that we can for music project that combining also peer education, because this is what I do here in town. I can count on you guys, and it's pretty easy how I started, because I'm a amateur singer, musician. I mean, I will say amateur because with life, probably it's something really common with musicians, that if they don't practice, they don't have like the time. Probably they lose a little bit of grip on practicing, on be good technically on the instrument or on singing. At a certain point, with my organization back in Italy,
okay,
the
organization is on Sicilia or
it's in Sicily, yes,
Sicily.
In the southeast of the island. And at a certain point, I found myself that I was 30, so
okay,
like 2-3 years ago. No, it's not true, but
yeah, you could pass through,
I'm 41. No,
41.
Very soon I will be 41. At a certain point, I said, I had like an experience of with band back there in Sicily.
What kind of music did you play?
Oh, I played from punk rock to ska to whatever was possible to play. Let's say rock in general. And at a certain point, I focus on what young people always need: socialization. I say, wow, one of the best experience on that was having a band. Or having like a couple of people that perhaps in the cellar start to play, and to listen music together, having a beer after the practice and something like that. And as I started to feel old, let's say, of course, coming people aged 18, 19, you must you must feel at least aged or vintage. We also asked young people to discuss about something using music. And the time was in 2014. There were a lot of people that wanted to discuss about European Union. That was something like, for me, wow. Because, came like a couple of young people that wanted to do music. Okay, so we just put a form, a Google form on our social.
Mm-hmm.
We see that we gave a couple of options
Mm-hmm.
on the topic of a probable
Project.
Mm-hmm. And was the European Union was like the one that smashed and was unexpected. So what we did is was to design a couple of activity that could give the chance to discuss about the future of the European Union.
Mm-hmm.
By using music, by using jam session, cooperative composition and songwriting. And it wasn't enough, because then we said, let's do it in maximum 10 days, from day 0, in which people are perfect bunch of strangers,
Mm-hmm.
till day 10, and we put their people in bands,
Mm-hmm.
without dealing, like totally random. And let's have like 2 moments in which they can reflect on 2 aspects of the European Union. The time was like how it is and how I want to see European Union. And then let's put them in a recording studio. So their material, their song, their material. Let's have.
Which they wrote in that 10 days.
Exactly, in 2 days, basically, out of these 10 days.
I was shocked how you managed to communicate with all 3 groups that were
5.
Yeah, that were all messed up with all these things, how to play, which instrument to play, and you combined your knowledge and your experience to be in 3 places in the same time, and that everything is managed to be solved in that short period of time.
Basically, my role and the one of Patty,
Mm-hmm.
which is my partner in crime and in life, was to respect their thought and also the way they want to go.
Mm-hmm.
The main goal wasn't teaching,
Mm-hmm.
but the main way was express yourself.
Express yourself on that instrument, and that's it.
Yes, and also on the lyrics. If you want to say fuck in a song that actually a national agency would listen, say it, because it's a part of your emotion and your creativity. When you talk about working with young people, the first thing is you are not the Messiah, you are not the Jedi Master, you are not the guru. You are the mean of transportation.
Mm-hmm.
You are not the goal. You are the mean. And in 2014, we did that in the open countryside with cows.
Jesus, right.
with cows, and we were in a mansion, basically in the open countryside, which was a. If I look back, was a kind of cheap arrangement in a way,
Mm-hmm.
because people sleep in this big farm, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But is a discreet charm, let's say. And we did the first time in 2014 with my organization. It was headache.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this, that was great, because then we created the album. The album was on Jamendo.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, all participants, because when you talk about this, pretty well, but there are 50 people at the same time. Still remember one of the best experience. So the first was in 2014, and was a bit shocking, because my organization was pretty unprepared at the time. So I gave up for 9 years to repropose that, because I said, it's too much. It was too much. It wasn't like a great experience. Then, when I came in Zagreb,
what is your, let's say, a transition to Zagreb? How did you came up with the idea, like, to live in Zagreb? And
I didn't plan.
you didn't plan.
No, I
It
didn't
happened,
plan.
or what?
Look, as I'm a professional in Erasmus Plus, one of the first thing, it's like to travel, to go project to project, not only for growing up, because an organization, for example, have expertise on a certain thing, I don't know, human rights, no? You go there, you have the possibility, thanks to Erasmus Plus, thanks to European Union and National Agency, Bocampeo, to grow up and to enrich your capacity as a worker, as a youth worker, but also to create a network, because you are there with other colleagues from other countries. You came up probably with cool ideas of project or cooperation in the short term. In 2018, was August, no, July, I participated to a project that was about mediation.
Okay.
So cultural mediation or conflict mediation in Poland. And there was like actually 2 Croatian organizations there.
Yeah.
Yes. And or was officially one, but they were let's say they were workers, youth workers from several organizations. And among them, I found a very smart and talented person, also really beautiful. Okay.
I'm getting to know like what's the
And it happened that I fall in love with her. I was thinking she was Croatian.
She was Croatian but lived in Poland, or?
No. I was thinking she was Croatian because was talking with other Croats in Croatian and something like that. We were in Poland. We were in Krakow. I was in Krakow before, and I said that, you are Patrycjom. It's the first time. It's your first time here in Poland. And she looked at me like in a really bold way, aggressive way. I am Polish. So,
yeah. Now I connect why are you in Croatia and why you two are also cooperating on the project. So
so it wasn't like for me, yes, but for her it wasn't love at first sight, but then became love.
So she's the main reason why you're here in Croatia.
I think the only.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
she's Poland that lived in Croatia.
Yeah, she's Polish, but you know very well the thing, because her Croatian is perfect.
Yeah, she's Croatian. Like she's from Croatia, you know.
I'm envy. I envy. I could live here other 20 years. I would not be like that.
That's karma, because Italian people don't like to speak on any other language than Italian, or?
But it's pretty, you know what, living in Zagreb, I'm in the comfort zone, because, you know, all in all, I speak other 4 languages over Italian, let's say. So I'm not, it's a kind of stereotype, and I approve, I validate that Italian people, wherever they roam, they will speak Italian. That's it. So in October 2020, after 1 year, let's say, of relation at distance, plus COVID in the middle.
Together in the COVID time? Or?
Yes, yes. It was like, I came on 2019 in November here. for a project of their former organization, and then let's say the things speed up. But then I came in other occasion, but then from March, as you know, COVID hit harder everywhere, but the first country was Italy. Even though I live in the south, it wasn't that harsh like in Lombardy. But then it means that for 4 months we didn't see each other. Then when there was the second wave, we decided, you know what, I'm coming in Zagreb because I know what happened. And from this moment,
it was hard, like to get across to Zagreb in that time because of COVID, or did you have any problems with the travel, or like with the trip to Zagreb in that time?
we should have trouble. I should have trouble because was like the end of October, and between let's say July and October in Italy, they progressively start to lose a bit of restriction. So it was like put the mask, vax yourself, of course. But at a certain point, there was like in the air the things of put restriction, raise the restriction. So at this point, we decided, look, sooner or later I would come in Zagreb. In case, do not worry, kick me out, send me back. But then I moved. I didn't have honestly problem. Yes, it was like in the border a bit of stuff, but nothing radical.
Too serious, like to die, yeah.
The thing was like that. In the meantime, we decided to establish our association, Udruga Better Me. And
that is how Beat It with the COVID project also like came in mind, like to
exactly.
Yeah.
Also because when we came here the first time in 2023, again we took the same idea. Let's do it music. And here it's another thing like why I see something above the heaven in Glazbena Kuća. Because there was a kind of organization trick, like, and now how the hell we are going to organize it, So, and well, at a certain point, also a personal level, COVID hit personally, unfortunately, and we didn't have time to investigate what young Croatians or young Italians or several or other countries would want to discuss about. COVID stuck in our life against our will. And so for us it was a kind of thing, came natural to say everybody has a COVID experience to tell.
Yeah. I'm sure about that.
And young people could have also the possibility to convert, to transform something tragic.
Yeah, I remember some kids or some students that were here that they were like having like experience that their family members were passed away by COVID or so.
Yeah.
They were so emotional in their experience, in their contributing to the project, in writing text.
Because was really hard for us adults to cope with it. I imagine like young people that could not go having party or having a holiday after, let's say, the Matura, or socialize, but with internet, and thank God there was internet in this occasion, because in a way they lose a lot of things, like for example playing in band. No.
Yeah.
But they could stay together in a way. Okay, like in Italy, for example, these for 2-3 months, young people could not go to school. They had to follow a distance. Imagine.
Yeah.
So everybody, and also like this feeling of hunger, you know, because it was, and was in my opinion was also right to have lockdowns or something like that. But we don't have to fool ourselves. For our health, for our well-being, no? We had to renounce to some freedom, to some liberty. It would be like stupid to say, okay, it was nothing. No, it was. Thanks God, thanks to science, thanks to health
Social
institution.
media and the TV and all that stuff. Let's remember about past epidemics that were happening that you couldn't like pass the information so fast like today.
Yeah.
Like there were like millions of people dying from a similar disease, you know.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
now let's have a lockdown and let's you know.
Let's try to observe this
Yeah.
rule, but was of course was a compression of freedom. Necessary. It will be like unfortunately this is things of these days, a war or something like that. We had like an enemy that we could not even see. But thinking that that was like a good moment, no. Everybody has a COVID story to tell, and everybody knows exactly in which moment started, because you know, as a human, we try to avoid the picture, you know, to escape from this noise not happening to us. As Italian, when I saw in Bergamo the tank, the military tank with the coffin of people getting out of the city, go to the crematory, I remember I was abroad, I was in Ukraine. I say, what the hell is happening? And you know, this was my moment, for example, in which I said, oh fuck, what is going on? It's something to take serious. And so at this point we said, we have to help young people to get back
On
a
tracks.
couple of things. Socialization, help them to processing, to self-express. It could not be just something that have to be told with a history.
Yeah.
You know, it happened this with a chronology of the events, or just in terms of economy or politics or whatever it is. No, here there are young people, talented, creative, that could do something. In this case, it was an album. In order also to say to other young people, you weren't alone, you weren't the only one. And this was really successful, because also thanks to Glazbena Kuća, we have been nominated as a good practice in 2023 for that.
Nice to hear, yeah.
It was like official recognition that it was something like, beside of the things that I have a bill to pay, rent to pay, or something like that, for somebody was necessary. For somebody was good. The second was a little bit more relaxed also on the topic.
Yeah. Like we know each other, and then it was like easier to go through it.
Yes, it was like last year. So yeah, it's always great that a miracle when happen again.
Yeah.
It's a really good thing.
So how did you came with the idea? Like what is the right way to go to European funds and like to present the project? You are like watching some sites that are listing the offers for that thing, or what's your experience with writing projects and all that stuff? If you can maybe
Yeah, of course,
some
I can tell you
things
something on Erasmus
to
Plus.
describe. Yeah.
Because, there is also like there is a legend that if you write European projects, you know everything, you know where to find or something like that. Some funds line are in the site of the commission, or but there is this tendency to put things into different projects and program. Like, for example, for the industry, for the music industry or the audiovisual industry, there is a Creative Europe. But if you ask me how works Creative Europe, I got to study. So this I tell you with humbleness. When it comes to Erasmus Plus, it's different because in Erasmus Plus there are it's a program which in December exactly when there will be the deadline for any kind of mobility. Erasmus Plus, it's about the mobility of individuals. Doesn't matter if are students, teachers, youth workers, young people, so also without school, because what we do now with the Udruga Better Me, it's like focusing not on students, but on young people. You don't have to be a student for apply for a project. Yes, exactly. Or less young, but working with young people, let's say. And on this, there is a guide you can find, for example, in the website of the AMPEU, which is the agency for Erasmus Plus here in Croatia. You can find on the web. You can also digit Erasmus Plus. You can download the guide, and you can check what are the objectives, what are the action which are supported, for how many money, because there is always a formula. So you can say that, for example, youth exchange, it's founded for this euro per day per number of participants, plus how much is the distance between, I don't know, Bucharest to Zagreb. And so accordingly, there is also a number of euro that are founded for let people travel to Zagreb. So all these rules are very easy, like informing yourself on the opportunity, on the budget, on the scope, the goal, the aim of a single action on Erasmus Plus is very easy. About writing a project, I think this was the question, right?
Yeah, but like I'm thinking about, because we don't have space here. We have space, but we need, let's say, a lot of more space to have more rehearsal spaces, to have maybe a bigger studio, to have maybe some apartments where people can also like be a few days. Because let's say in your case, you were like having a hotel for your students, and why wouldn't we have like 10 rooms exactly for that purposes? Or if some band come here and play, that we can give them accommodation for their needs. And I'm thinking about a bigger place like a cultural center where everything can happen. So I don't have like my own money to invest in that stuff. If I've had, I'll probably buy a parcel and started building. And I'm curious about it, if we can manage like to write a project for that purpose. And is there like what is the probability to that project to success, so they can cover like building expenses and all that stuff? So construction expenses, and combining with the culture and what we work here, let's say.
Look, I can limitedly to Erasmus Plus. There are projects which are founded, but also need a cooperation on the long time with other organization, for example, with other association. And this probably it's more feasible, but also means like 2 years of work at the grassroots level with young people or with operators, something like that. This also this also, you know, it's for example a youth exchange will not, of course, financing or that. Probably more youth exchange,
I
yes.
understand, yeah.
But it's also like it depends on the capacity, on the management, of course.
Sorry to interrupt you, but let's say one direct question about that. So you write the project, you get the project, you get, you know, what's let's say, and people are starting to come here, and what's with the finances? Like, do you have the finances in front? How can I say that? So you can pay like that exchange of students, or you invest by yourself and you got covered later?
No, it would be impossible.
Yeah. That's
no. The rule, it works like that. You apply for a certain amount of €1,000. You receive the 80% immediately.
in advance. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Immediately.
At least
okay.
in Croatia. Thank you, guys. Really, the national agency in Croatia works on this pretty good. Like you sign the contract, and you have the 80% up front without waiting ages, and this is great. So the 80%, what is used for? Is used for let them come and go. The participants come and go. For example, in Glazbena Kuća to have the project, to afford the rental, or the post-pro of the album, just for making like an example. Give them lodge and meal, so meal accommodation, buy some material. Of course, we try to not overuse papers and things like that, because you know we are in full IT technology revolution. And out of this 80, sometimes you can get something for yourself. But then you have to, of course, you have to close the project. So there is a final report to draft. At the end of the process, so when you apply for the other 20%, then you have, let's say, the money, let's say, of your honorary,
your work, contribution to the project. Okay.
Of course, if you tell me, okay, for make like an hypothesis, you know, because I'm a project manager. It's for example, you and Andrea, for example, working for the project, okay, and you cover the expenses. You have your nice album or something like that. I have this leftover. I invest on something, for example, or on renovating like a rehearsal room. You can do it. You don't have to justify how you use, let's say, the money remaining. There are few also, let's say, accountancy rule. Like, for example, there are some money, for example, to cover special needs. Could be like, for example, participants which are gluten intolerant, for example. They got to be used for this purpose. But then or for include people, young people that, for example, otherwise will not be able to participate because, for example, have I don't know, refugee background, economic obstacles, or are in so-called NEET, so they are not in school, in training, in education, in nothing. And you got to demonstrate actually that you have these young people, okay, that you include these young people, and of course you will be awarded for that. As you see, also the national agency made us the honor to come and visit in the last project here in Glazbena Kuća, just for, you know, checking, having an audit about how the money were spent, what young people. Of course, I wasn't after the young people where the national agency came, of course, in the maximum transparency, of course. And so there are also, I don't want to say it's easy to manage because nothing is easy, but when it comes like to paperology, to bureaucracy, it's not that hard.
Yeah, that was my next question. How much time do you spend like on that paperwork to report all the project and
everything? It depends how you organize yourself.
Yeah, like if you get the money, you have that receipt already in your phone or your application, bank application.
Google Drive.
you export it to Google Drive, you name the folder, and you go with the flow. Then it's easier to report all that stuff. When you pay the receipt, you get the receipt, you archive it in that folder.
When the participant came with the boarding passes, ticket, invoice of the flight and something like that, you have everything there.
You scan it immediately.
Or you save it because a lot of data are in PDF. So on these, like it's of course, if you have an audit of the national agency, you have to provide everything. On these, it's super easy. The report, and also another thing I didn't mention, like for apply and for report, everything goes through IT platform. So
everything is like checked and
yes, you don't have to print because I started my career where you have to print twice, one in Italian, one in English, putting the CD with the document, putting that, and then queuing to the post or buying like a delivery from TNT, FedEx, or whatever, because I had to reach Rome.
I wrote one project now for Zagreb. It was like I remembered that on that day that date when the application expires, So I remembered that I had one project that is suitable for that. So I had it all in my mind, and I set on my computer like on 3 p.m. and got to the post like in 11:30 p.m. and the post office on Glavni Kolodvor was working until midnight,
Wow.
So I managed to print all the papers. That was like the thing. I don't know why, because every other project that I applied on was having like an online IT form where you can apply, but this one was like a paperwork. So I prepared all the PDFs, then I selected print all of that stuff, signed the papers, and got into the envelope and go to the post office.
Glavni Kolodvor. And look, this is another thing. For example, this I call the professional disease. We have time, knowing that really, if, for example, a deadline, it's always at midday and noon. We have time, and then you are grasping that. Once I remember I had a project approved that was applied on 11:58:59.
Jesus.
What if like for some reason internet didn't work, like months of or weeks of
preparing.
Yes,
got to 1.5 minutes in the end. Jesus.
That was approved. So this for example it's a great easiness, and also because it's have an impact also on the planet in terms of resources. You don't have to print, so no ink, no paper, no electricity for that and so on. For the reporting is basically is the same. Okay, there is the part of the budget, so put in the budget, it's semi-automatic, let's say, is the one that make us, getting upset the most because there is not a single time that all the numbers are in their own places. And we don't know why, but somehow you can keep it.
Yeah.
And then reporting, it's basically, as well as writing a project, you got to tell a story. I don't know, the Three Piglets.
Well, you write an essay for the end of the project.
But you know, it's the thing. The best thing is keep it simple and clear. Exactly as the Three Piglets, Little Red Riding Hood. You know, person that, for example, a body that could be also the national agency or the executive agency, but it's not the right name anymore. I'm still, you know, I passed 3 generations of mobility project. Has to understand what you wrote, what are your goal, why you want to do that, which kind of problem you're solving, or what is your, in terms of learning, what is the objective. So keep it simple. If I always say, if your aunt is that is not from this background, understand what you are going to do, you are in the right path. Then there are, of course, you have to convince. You have to be convincing. It's not like that you think that your idea is the best in the world and then, the project wasn't approved. So also to be humble to accept the rejection, even though sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes it's also like, what the hell is that? And then you see that there were few projects approved, so probably there was like a huge competition in that round. So you got to accept the rules, let's say, in a way or another. Of course, at the beginning, for me, was like, because there is a lot of clientelism and things like that, you know. And this is the things to avoid if you want to do this job, like find an excuse. Accepting that probably was the right moment. Accepting also that the evaluator could be like not prepared or probably not in the best shape. It happened. A lot of time there were misinterpretation that say, hey, but I didn't wrote that, you know?
Yeah, that's the human factor.
Exactly. But you know, it's a continuous shaping your skills and also your attitude. When I start to do that, the thing changed. I'm in the environment. Now it's the 14th years I'm in the environment. Sometimes it's you are in a good wave, sometimes not. These are the rules. You know, it's from July to now I didn't have any project approved, and it happened the first time after 14 years.
Jesus, no.
You know, it's the rule. It's the life I choose to live, you know. So these are like, let's say, the pros and the cons of this life. I always say that I've been lucky to endure that much and to have a contribution on the growth of young people. I want to say society probably is too much. But for me, if there are people coming here to my project, learning something, twisted a bit of perspective on something, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
And when you, let's say, work on that projects, and if you do it like a full time, can you live like from writing and applying for projects and for managing to solve the projects? Like, how many projects can you like per year make, and to do it? Is it, my question is, can you live a decent life with writing and organizing that kind of projects?
It's hard, but not impossible. I did. I did, and I hope I will start to doing again. Also, like when it comes to me, I had the chance to work not only for my organizations, but like, for example, back in Sicily for other organizations. Before COVID, and also during the first 2 years of COVID, of course 2020, no, but from 21 to 20 to 23, I had also the chance to be as I'm a trainer. I had the chance to
I didn't know that you're a trainer. Yeah?
Yes, I'm not just a project manager, but I worked as freelancer for other organizations in Malta, in Romania, Bulgaria, Czech Republic, Ukraine, which is in my heart. Stay strong, guys. And so this for me was...
Sorry to interrupt you, but if you have something to say, like, to the people,
okay, there.
This camera is yours.
Okay.
This is mine, this is yours, and this is like full.
Okay.
Full, yeah.
Stay strong.
No problem.
So strong, Ukrainian friends. So I had also an extra income from that. Also, I was a recruiter for my organization for the so-called European Solidarity Corps, which is something, for example, that was my starting point, basically. I was a volunteer for a time it was called European Voluntary Service. It was like my gym, because I was in Romania in a great organization with a great friend that is always with me. They kind of, give me like the eye sign, was my vocation started there. So between my project approved in Italy, at the maximum was like 2-3 projects approved. I put also like my work as a recruiter and trainer for young people that wanted to live with European Solidarity Corps. We had also volunteers in Italy coming. So project approved, let's say, carried on in Italy, plus my freelancer activity abroad. So altogether, it's like be a lawyer and you got to get like your client in a way or another. It's like it's like that, you are a professional and you got to be hired also. Pretty adventurous life.
Yeah, like when you're doing that project, you have a chance like to visit all the countries. Like I suppose that you visited all European countries through your projects or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe you're planning to expand on other continents with the project or something like that.
It's possible because European Union, first of all, European Union have also territories
around the globe.
Around the globe. Think the Caribbean, think like Africa.
Yeah, that would be great, like having a band on a Caribbean sea and playing the music.
Yeah, like I remember before the COVID, we were like close to that, to apply in Saint-Pierre and Miquelon, which, if I'm not wrong, it's in Africa, but it's overseas territory of France. But then, people, say, hey, yes, man, bro, let's do it. Perfect. You finish like writing the project. No, but we thought that probably not this time because we're not feeling ready. Okay. Fair enough, I had the project and then I'm still waiting to apply this in France, for example.
Yeah, you have a project ready, then when the time comes you can apply.
Yes,
make a few changes and we go.
Exactly. No, but because, we are doing podcasting, one of the things that make me like a lot of luck and appreciation was having a program on let not only young people, but also us, adult people, get skills on web radio podcasting and stuff. through this method, because I write a method on that,
Great.
I visited a lot of country, and I brought like a web radio even in the most remote area of country. For example, if I say you Latvia,
I remember that you were talking about that radio, and we were like talking about how to make maybe Glazbena Kuća radio, but for now, let's say we don't have that much material that we can like cover 24 hours of the radio, or we don't have maybe like finances to give someone a salary who would like to be who would lead that radio and who would who would make a content for that radio. So if there's like a project where we can write something about that and that we can finance a person who can lead this radio station like Glazbena Kuća, why not?
Yeah, but also I tell you a thing, we are recording. It's super easy to extract, like for example, from a video, the audio. And, there are web radio web radio server which are easy to configure and to plan, let's say, a broadcast without having given nobody like on the microphone or something like that. That there is also thousands of these.
Yeah, let's say now what I'm thinking. A year from now, if we continue like to do this kind of podcasts like once a week, we have enough content to put it on the radio. But
Exactly.
let's say what's the thing about how can people listen to it? So how can we promote that to get people to know, like to listen to that radio?
Super
Or
easy.
maybe we can connect it with the AM, FM radio stations, like for people to listening in their cars.
You said the thing, your car, because basically the icecasts or shotcasts server give the possibility to have like a link or to have a QR, and also to embed it on a website, or giving like thousands of social integration and something like that. When, for example, my organization back in Italy had like Radio Mistake was the name of the radio, like young people gave this, my community, Modica, gave this name. I basically had to drive for 1 hour from my house to the office. And I connected like my mobile through Bluetooth
And
on my car.
that's it.
Perfect. They put like selection of stuff, a lot of these things in Creative Commons, like for example the album produced by the organization and so on. Plus having like their live broadcasts or their podcasts that have been, let's say, automatically reproduced. Of course, you do that not out of I want to compete with HRT.
No, of course.
You do because it's cool to do it, because you give a possibility of a community, for example, of musicians, to have their own radio station, talking about, for example, music, or talking about whatever you like, airing this conversation. And the thing is also like, again, do things for people. Of course, this could be like affordable, and they are actually. It's not like that you got to invest, oh my God, how many time, energy, and money, because are important, because you could have all the brilliant ideas, something like that. But sustainability and money are in the equation, let's say in the mathematical equation, got to be there. The first thing is also like doing a thing that have an impact on life of people. It's like, starting a podcast. I perfectly know. At the beginning, there will be like few views.
Yeah.
And then the thing increased. And I remember like when we put radio mistake, radio sbaglio in Italian, to these young people of my community, they started really with few things, with a second-hand mixer, which wasn't even USB. So there were the RCA cable that come in and go from the case of the of a PC, you know. At the beginning were the mothers, or the brothers, the grandpa or something like that. But then there were every Saturday, there were 25, 30, 35 person there for 2 hours listening stuff. Not on YouTube, not on Instagram, not on, by just spreading the word. There was they organized everything on Telegram, on WhatsApp with the link of the radio.
Right.
Connect that point of the day, tomorrow, or wherever it is. Sometimes also like I receive a notification on WhatsApp, like, damn, it's 2:00 in the night and there were young people at my office streaming.
Jesus.
Was something like, because they create this kind of continuous feedback between them and the audience. They didn't have to get a general audience, but they started with person that they wanted to talk with.
You gave me an idea now. Like I'm playing padel, like this.
Padel, yeah, okay.
Like this tennis thing with the smaller rackets. And there's a hall that's called Padel Embassy. When you go to the court, like to the trainer's court, you can scan with the code, and you have a link for live streaming of that match.
Yeah.
So maybe that wouldn't be so much money, like to invest per rehearsal room. And if you want to share your experience in the rehearsal room when you play with your band, you just scan it and you just put it live.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah. Moramo zapamtiti ovo. Ovu idejicu moramo zapamtiti, eto, da, to moramo provesti, eto. Imaš zadatak. You have a task,
Okay, what's the task?
Like having a QR code on the room, and like having maybe 2 or 3 cameras for every rehearsal room, and you scan the code and you can share that code to live stream your rehearsal when you play with your band, if you want,
Yeah.
And if all the band consents with it, if they approve like to be live, we go live. And we can stream it directly to YouTube or station in this case, and
Sure, doable.
in time maybe we can make profit on that also.
It could be like we are narcissists musicians.
and we are like we can record the band's ideas. Like I'm having a trouble with remembering the idea that I had with my band, like playing in the room. Oh, I won't record it, I will remember it, and 2 hours later I don't know what I played. So
No.
I can rewind that on the server and I can check what I played in that time.
For example, for this StreamYard, it's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm starting using because now I'm passing more from the radio, so just audio, which is great with the introvert or with people that doesn't want to be on a video, of course, recognizable or something like that. I'm testing like a couple of streaming options, and for example, I'm dipping on StreamYard because it's amazing, because you can record the stuff and then streaming, or vice versa, you can go directly and streaming or something like that. I mean, using it.
Yeah, great. This is what I like about you when we are hanging out, because let's say we understand each other, and you make me think about also another ideas that we can combine together and to apply on another project maybe that's going to happen here or wherever, here in Zagreb or wherever.
I tell you, like, for example, like band could have could record their stuff. And usually what is the thing when you have a band, where I put my stuff on in order to people to listen it or to share it or something like that. As you know, like all the album, all the 2 albums we produced here in Glazbena Kuća are in Giannone because there is like a policy of Creative Commons. So first of all, we guarantee that nobody is going to steal the material or earn
money
from that. But the other thing is that can freely circulate if they want, without having a risk of appropriation of your stuff. And imagine, like, for example, a 24-hour radio, which is basically not even a laptop, but a remote server that is basically streaming stuff which are produced here.
Yeah, it was shocking for me, like on Twitch. Yeah, what can you watch on that Twitch? Like, person who lives in his apartment and he's streaming himself, like sleeping, and I can see like 2,500 people watching him sleeping.
No, yeah, this is pathological.
What the fuck?
I mean,
he's earning money while he sleeps. You know what?
We are in a freaking free country. And
yeah.
Okay, free of will, but it's something like he's not in this case, in my opinion, I admit it, he's not the content creator. But there are people doing that, you know, watching that.
I remember one guy he bought like 2 or 3 robots, Tesla robots, or I don't know what, and he's living with the robots and his experience living with the robots in his apartment also, you know, and he's streaming it.
I remember like...
so we're having like a good base to stream whatever's happening here, and...
without a Tesla robot.
yeah.
Also, I tell you, there was like Giannone, I think is the name of the content creator on Twitter. He made like a marathon. I don't promote this shit from my country, absolutely not. Don't do it, I tell you. He made like a marathon of 48 hours streaming.
Okay.
And it was like crazy how many people, because basically what this guy did, eating, talking with people, singing with auto-tune. That's it. But everybody remember out of 48 hours that this guy had been insulted on the chat, you know, that are these kind of haters and so on, you know. But he started to swear, to blame on everybody, but he forgot the auto-tune in. So you can imagine that there was like a hit. After 12 minutes, I have the auto-tune in. No, the great things happen in the net. Terrible.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about all the AI shit that's coming out that we can use and to cooperate in our lives. And it's coming like very soon. What do you think about these AI things and robots coming to replace the people in the industries?
Okay, I see a lot of potentiality, and I tell you, you know, for example, writing English is not my mother tongue. Even
like this human factor that you were talking about in evaluating the project. If he didn't woke up on a like I don't know, with goodwill or something came up in his life that in that time impacted your project, let's say, maybe AI can help about that and to warn him, hey man, you're not in a good shape right now, please read once again and then evaluate it once again, you know.
I tell you, being English not my mother tongue, even though I think I have a discrete command of this language, I tell you that every time I finish like a box, I check with ChatGPT if in a way that it could be improved. Also because clarity, as I told.
So what's the prompt when you when you do that?
Please could rephrase it in a way that it's simple to people to understand.
Yeah, great.
And correct in case typo and something.
Yeah.
I don't ask the AI.
You ask him nicely, or you
Nicely, because
he remembers everything.
you never know what could happen after. Yes, I'm one of these weird say please to ChatGPT.
Yeah, I'm also like.
On this, like for example, this is like the contribution, like for example, in my life as a project writer. I don't ask ChatGPT to write the project.
Yeah, of course.
I ask a support. I'm not native in English. Being Italian, we are super wordy. Like I remember, like my wife that translated the project I applied in Italy, in Italian language. It was something like, "Oh, but you write so much." No, I didn't. It's just my language that require such
that amount of
wording.
text, yeah.
It's also cultural stuff. No, we can say the same thing in with the 1,000 shades. And sometimes, sometimes this being Italian in a way or another can influence on the readability of the project. So ChatGPT intervene on that. The only concern I have, because I was shocked, it's about art. On this, I could have like some concern. I don't think that they are going to replace us as musicians, because I will always prefer the grace than the perfection, Pleskavica over sushi, in this case. So as a musician, you can understand if something is done nicely by an artificial intelligence or something is done nicely from a human. And you tend to prefer that as a musician. But as a listener, I was sure that they would understand if something done by Daniel or by, I don't know which kind of AI apply to...
Have you tried, like, there are some services that make music also?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's impressive. I didn't buy it, but I saw like an Italian... this I suggest, Mark the Hammer in English. Can find Mark the Hammer. It's basically a professional musician, which is also it's a YouTube content creator, also in English. So, and he had like a reaction on an artificial intelligence that composed a song with certain characteristic. Also, copying the pattern of, I don't know, Freddie Mercury. He put together Freddie Mercury, Michael Jackson, and Eminem. Honestly speaking, it sounded really real. It sounds real. I'm a bit concerned on that. Also because we live like in time in which for the content you don't have to last more than 3 minutes. Also the market, let's say the musical market changed rapidly, and we didn't, when we were really young, let's say, when we were like a junior high, how many albums you could buy, borrow, master tape, 4, 5 per year, probably it's already a lot. Now 4, 5 album or 4, 5 song.
You make it in one day.
Exactly. Exactly. And if upon on that, on top of that, we put also like that any, let's say, idiot in the sense of not music savvy guy could create music with good standard by using a program. It's freaking hard. On art, I'm quite concerned, but probably will be nothing. Nothing happen. But of course, I have this bias, what is real, what is not real. We thought the problem we were DJ, but no, we move a bit over on that.
Have you had like any problems with the students? Let's get back to the projects and all that stuff. Like they came, they didn't came. They like were having problems constantly. Yeah, you work with people. That's the main problem.
And sometimes you work with organizations which are made of people. One of the things is that Udruga Better Me, but also attivamente select or try to select partners that can be supportive, that could have a good selection. Selection doesn't mean that I want the new Jimi Hendrix or the Steve Vai or whatever. Good selection means like people coming with a purpose. And these progressively start to be an issue. We were lucky in a meaning that, as I told you, our partner are selected. Are not like, okay, you are from France. I love France. Yes, dude, let's do the thing. So this is a way to minimize. But then there is a guy, when he come, like, for example, to you, a guy that 10 days before the project with the ticket bought said, I noticed that in these days there is the baptism of my little cousin or something like that.
He didn't come.
It happened. And then you have 10 times to go and replace this person. Otherwise, you may like say hello 10 days before.
What about this ticket and the funds that got on his ticket and he didn't came? Like it's lost, or
it's lost for him,
or you can let's say contribute it in the project report and to explain the situation, and you got your funds back or something like that.
Depends. There are some more participants that we know, for example, with the minor with fewer opportunity, which we try to agree also with the sending organization to buy the tickets, who buy the tickets, if we have to contribute in equal part, for example. In a way, you try also to facilitate, because, one thing I want to say is that in this world is for everyone. There are obstacles to be removed. There are also organizations that make pay people coming, and I don't want to say more, but I don't think it's fair. So you can imagine like 1,000 of swearing words in my head now. So I say it without saying. But in this case, if the participant buy on his own, and then, I cannot come because, as I told you, or simply I changed my mind. Probably I found a hot guy or a hot girl, and I didn't want to leave for the moment I'm in Zagrebu doing the pro. It happened. It's constantly happened that. You have to hold your nerves. The guy lose the reimbursement, or if you bought, you lose this part of money. You got to afford another cost, and of course the ticket will be more expensive. It didn't happen to me, it happened actually with our first project. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And this was like absolutely, because what is the other challenge? Sometimes it are the families. families which are natural allies of us, but it could be also a huge threat.
Uh-huh.
And I remember there was this guy that had to give up. Luckily, then we found it, a replacement. Why? Because the group leader is so the person that basically bring people here and assist and give us also an help as organizer, was Roma,
Mm-hmm.
and met the family,
Mm-hmm.
and the family has like a huge Roma prejudice. Say, oh no, I don't give my child who was 18.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like even child. No, because for sure you bring it, I don't know, you're gypsy, you're and other stuff. You are under the weather. You know, the time in which I start to relax, probably the only time I start to relax, it's when everybody are at the hostel. Not even like at the airport, like at the arrival, let's say, the arrival, when you know that they will appear for breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Or when you
see him
yeah.
on the breakfast. Oh, that's okay. Now I can eat.
I remember our first project. It was still in COVID time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we were at the end because it was September 2021. We organized that not in the city center for avoiding any spillover, any contagion. We were in Sliema. Like, was in the nice hotel there in Sliema, the famous
Mm-hmm.
one.
Mm-hmm.
But we forbid everybody to take like the cableway, the Gichara, and because we are create a bubble, use the mask like in the corridor, try to avoid any kind of thing. The day before, our friends from Serbia,
Okay.
look. The vice president of the organization cannot come because tested positive. Thank God that they came with Flixbus, no?
Mm-hmm.
So they found last minute another person that was like the third in charge or so. But, like...
stressful situations in that period of time. You have to find a replacement, but in that short period of time, and when you manage, it's also rewarding,
No, but you mean in addition of the usual situation, there was also this on the top. All the time. And sometimes participants, because, otherwise we talk about unicorns. Participants, however they can, it's like a chocolate box, the one of Forrest Gump. You don't know what you are going to pick.
Yeah.
And you got to be there. As professional, you don't have to question.
Deal with the situation, yeah.
Yeah, this guy is not good. This other guy is not fit, or you cannot. Also, it's good for that, because otherwise, if all of us we were like fitting in the standard or having the same level of politeness, for what reason we are going to do the job?
Yeah. That's the reason why you do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The main reason.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And again, if on these people that probably came to your project because now it's fancy to have a holiday with Erasmus Plus, because it's another problem. This people thinking that it's a kind of holiday program. Why? Because unfortunately, organization working in Erasmus Plus make it appear like that.
Like a holiday, yeah.
Yes, it's fun. Erasmus Plus is fun, of course, but there is also learning.
Learning and doing some work. When all that stuff, you have to be included, and you have
exactly.
to be...
I know of projects in which people don't do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And you see, like, for example, once I remember, there were organization organized in some overseas territories, like I think Saint Martin, the Dutch overseas.
Okay.
And I say, okay, don't judge, because also those people living there, there is an economy also to satisfy. This is Europe, even if it's another country. No, these are Dutch citizens. But then I met participant. What he did? Barbecue, coconuts, seaside. Okay, okay. Which I mean, I organize project in Sicily, close to the seaside. Even in summertime, it's good. It's good. Like last project I had in Sicily, we were like 2 minutes driving from the seaside. We think that as organizer was a problem to bring young people for an activity at the seaside in the same seashore when I was kid. Of course, was also local pride or something like that. But it's not a holiday inn, and this is something that sometimes you see people particularly say,
this is not a holiday. Yeah, they're saying, I'm not on a holiday or what.
Yeah, you want to visit Zagreb, fair enough. Pay your money and do it as a tourist.
Yeah. Or if you have some time while in the project or after the project in your evening time or something
After
like that.
the activity,
go,
of course. Yeah,
don't get drunk, let's say, and not to be available in the morning to
Please
come.
appear the day after. Yeah.
Please appear.
And I remember our first project, there was this guy from Turkey living in Italy that I remember he shocked me positively. I am not talking bad about the guy. He told me, Vincenzo, I got to tell you a thing. At the end of project, so we were pretty relaxed. We did everything. It was like the evaluation of the project. Why? Tell me. I got to tell you. I got to thank you and Patty, because before you, we thought that Erasmus Plus was a holiday. So imagine how much was rooted in this.
Yeah.
And they came here and say, oh, Jesus, we have to roll our eyes to create
so
song.
I can see that company that, let's say the company that is finding participants are doing it wrong. Like they're going like on easier way, like they present it like a holiday to get the students for the project or something like that. Or how can you... So what's the formula like to getting students, like to get them interact? And that's also like a big work, like to interest the people in the foreign country to come and participate in the project.
It depends how you sell, how you promote the program. I prefer to be honest. Like when we show like the project, the activities, so whatever they are, because we are not just making music. We say what are the activity and what we expect. Like there is a formula like this project is for you, if. So I tell you that if you are in training, so not in youth exchange, which is a bit more relaxed. Training means that it will be tough. It will be tough, not in the way like physically or mentally tough, but you have to be committed. You have to be committed. There are people here learning. Of course, then after the training, go visit the city. Also, we gave some half a day for a visit or for doing some sightseeing. There is we are not this stuff. But of course, if you come like for a project about, for example, radicalization, and you apply just because it's in the capital, or just because I don't know, it happened also that there is your crush of the previous project you have been that live in Zagreb. of course, it's something that then spoil the plan, not to the organizer that will have money after the project, but also people coming. And this happened for two reasons. And this is something that it's my point of view, but it's the reality. First, because there is, unfortunately, there is like a kind of business on that. Lot of time came people with organization I worked with, told me, I had to pay 50 euro of project fee to come here. I say, look, this didn't come to us first. Second, let me explore this. And a lot of time, the cooperation with that organization closed. The second, it's like to having like this social communication in which really you think that you are going to promote tourism. Project in Sicily. I do project in Sicily, my own town. I never use a single picture of a monument, of a beautiful seaside or the countryside. Never. In the communication. I just focus on the graphic, on what the project it is. Of course, then there is all the information. The project is in this agri-camping, which is amazing, which is good looking. We are close, yes, we are close to this touristical spot. Come one day before the arrival, or even go one day after the departure date and visit, because it's amazing. I traveled all over Europe, and I ate locally, and I get acquainted of a lot of things. I'm the first doing that. But it could not be the only reason, the main, or even worse, the main reason to come. Yeah. And it's a widespread phenomenon, and this is really discouraging. Also because between us that we are getting old and the young people that lowered their expectation or their standards, sometimes it's sometimes you may clash. It's not easy. It's not easy. Like, remember, like project in Malta in summer. I've been like the visitor trainer. I remember that there is a section in which you set the expectation also of people, Not even young people, also your colleagues. Okay?
Okay.
And a certain point, like during like this thing, okay, guys, now we are going to write on a paper what are our expectations, fears, and contribution. Because it's a way also to assess what people expect, what people fear, and how people can also contribute and help you in do the magic, no? Even before I started to spread like the material for write upon it, please tell me, is it possible to have activity on the seaside? Damn! Damn, you're not... But this is a problem. This is a problem not because the new generation are less serious. It's how the program, especially after COVID, have been delivered. And this is like one of the challenge. I could say like make Erasmus great again. No, mega. Less maga, more mega, let's say. But this is one of the stuff. And then ice in the vein while people coming to you, because as I told you, I'm not like the Yoda master. No, I'm not like a teacher, a priest, or a moral or professor, or something like that. You got to respect their way, their attitude, the way they do things, and you cannot, like, for example, raise your voice or showing aggressive. It's hard.
Yeah,
It's
I
hard.
can imagine.
It requires deontology. It requires a lot of
Yeah,
stuff.
it's nice to have people like you, like that you're excited to do these kind of projects to help people on that way. So I can see from this point of view when you're talking about it that it's very hard to accomplish like one project. And you already made like how many projects?
Don't remember actually.
Yeah, it's like 20, 30.
No, more. Look, I write the first project in 2013 after my volunteering experience in Romania.
And these was all Erasmus Plus projects, or?
Yes.
Good.
Plus some other things. There were like some contribution in some other project in the Council of Europe when it comes to human rights, democracy, and freedom. Yes.
And the Oscar goes to Vincenzo.
No,
Is there
no.
some kind of reward or like from Erasmus Plus projects organization that like honor your
like
your
some
work?
awards, some mention. Yeah, as I told you, like in 14 years, the only time I received a project I wrote, received, and I implemented with the party, received an award, was here in Croatia, and was for this COVID-19 project. We were mentioned as good practice in Croatia.
Okay, that's based on the project, but you already made like 20, let's say, projects, and you're like directly changing the society, like with your projects, like changing people's minds, like
I hope so.
helping all the communities that how to live properly their lives, let's say, combining it with the music, and you help like on a psychological level. That's the most important for today young generations. They are for the anxiety problems and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah, but you know, it's something like I don't know. It's this is up to my father, because my father was an example for me in terms of working. Don't expect. The mantra was always, don't expect the people come to you with a statuette or something like that.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about do they recognize your work that you've done, and I don't know, like
as institution or
yeah, like like institution, and like a good practice that you told. And have you had a chance like to have like a podcast or something like that, like a good example of how to run the projects and to
the great thing, like reward or award in these terms, it happened to me a lot of time. Like, for example, institution or other organization, as you do now, that allowed me with great pleasure again to share stories, and to a certain way. They also told me that I'm inspirational or something like that. This was great. You know, I'm a kind of this understated person. I had, indisputably, I had some small success in professional life. I could not deny it. But if, for example, I tell you, if a project goes good, I'm thinking about the next one. There's no time to celebrate or to say, now I try I don't want to say to celebrate, but to say, okay, all in all, you did good, in front of the mirror.
Well,
It happened. One of the things that really make me proud is that actually people sometimes called me to share my story, or to try also to inspire young people, for example, to be trainer, or to be into activism and things like that. I remember like once we had kind of teddy in my city. There were students from Slovenia, I remember, Turkey, because it was in Erasmus, but for school. And of course from my city. And we were three spokesperson. One was somebody from the Italian National Agency. We have three national agencies, the one for school, let's say. Then there was like the counselor to education of my city, Modica. Then it was me. And I tell what was that topic. The topic was basically how to be advocate causes for rights, or to make a change, in the community. And I just tell my story as I told to you and to our friends, without to make epic. It's something like, instead of, for example, talking and talking and talking and talking, even if I like talking and talking, I asked, for example, young people that were like aged from 14 to 17, to interrupt and ask.
Yeah.
And this, my intervention lasted like 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I've been assaulted basically by these young people that kept me for 1 hour and a half in the hall, like asked me about Erasmus Plus, asked me about my life spent in Romania, in Spain, in Croatia, because I was already here, and all this kind of thing. It was really hard for me to say, look, there is my family, it's waiting for me for lunch. Because in this moment, I felt like that I wasn't rhetoric. I didn't talk about them without knowing them, or doing the generalization of young people today. No. Each of us has a own personality. Also, young people has own personality. Also, every generation has the way to be young people. And I hope to these youngsters, I gave like the idea I preach. I try to promote. A youth worker is not a guru. I'm the person that can help to make you understand where you want to go.
You're like helping them on their life way.
Yeah.
On their crossroads.
Yeah.
But you're not deciding for them, you're just opening up their minds, like to think more about it, and then you leave them decide what to do.
To have criticism, to wonder, I remember in this study, sort of, was asked me to be a orienter. This person that career orienting or something like that, because being a trainer, so educator or something like that. Again, this kind of idea that we need a guru, we need leader. No, we need people which are grassroots, which are not saying you what you have to think. but have to, inseminate inside of you the doubt. And I remember the first thing, like, thank you so much, Mayor. You called me orientator, but I'm the disorienter. I want to disorient you, Guys, I want to disorient you. This was the first thing, And every time, I see people behind me, like, wonder, oh, this was unplanned. And then I explained what I explained to you, we cannot tell people what to do, because this is what happened in some other country, let's say. I don't want to say Russia, but this could be like a good example. And this is the way that make us freer, make like an open society. It's not other things which are, I don't know, having two different kind of toilet or just one or something like that. It's help people to find their own way, to question. The first thing I say is, don't trust me blindly. Listen
Think with your head. Yeah.
Exactly. Probably what I told you, it's just rubbish. If it inspires you, good. But probably it's rubbish. And it's fine to disagree. It's fine to disagree. If you feel like disagreeing,
tell me
it's
about
perfect. Yes, because also...
And tell me your opinion about it, so we can...
Because probably I change mine.
Debate about it, and maybe I'm wrong,
Yeah, probably I will change my mind. Probably I have a bias. Everybody has bias. That make me understand that, like, cool, I didn't think about it.
Yeah.
I follow a little politics here in Croatia, for obvious reason.
You could be a good politician here,
No, actually, I enrolled in a political party in Italy.
Yeah.
Yes. But I see like what is happening since 1994 in my country. We want a leader. We want like a stupid guy with a stupid haircut like in North Korea, but in a more democratic, acceptable way. And everybody following the leader, But he said the crap. No, but he's a leader. He's my leader. I voted for him. And so what?
Yeah.
And so what? You voted for him. Probably it's a nice politician. Probably it's really a good person. But this time, say the crap.
Yeah.
This time, say the crap. And admit it that your leader, your political party leader, say that, or the person you vote, in this moment, say the crap. It doesn't make you a bad person. And we are losing that.
Yeah.
We're losing that. We are totally losing that. This is the role I took for myself.
So let me interrupt you about that. Let's talk about Sicily and how's life in Zagreb and how's life on Sicily.
Well,
what do you like about your place where you were born, and what do you like here in Zagreb? Like, we also have a seaside, you also have a seaside, we have a lot of similarities, but...
We are life enjoyer. We are into food and into beverage, let's say, a lot. These are the things. People are sociable in both countries. Especially, I'm from Sicily, as you told. And we are I think we are kind of Balkan as well. So no great boundaries to befriend people. We are also a hell loud. Sicilian more than Croats, I guess. We complain a lot. These are the great similarity. We complain a lot, but when we have to do something for ourselves, our kin, there is always something to eat or to drink. So we have good food. So this probably prevents us
I remember 3 good movies like were made on the Sicily base. The Godfather.
The Godfather, of course. You
Yeah.
can visit Savoca. but-
Yeah, you told me that there's this bar where you can sit down and drink coffee where they were like having
Yes.
all the deals, you know.
exactly. When Mike basically asked the end of Apollonia, yes, after made the crap of insulting the father, yes, you can visit. You can also visit like the church in which the marriage, all this procession goes. No, it's pretty accurate because all what you see in the movie, especially in the scene which are actually shot in Sicily. Savoca, it's a beautiful place in province of Messina, not far from Taormina, which it's called Corleone, but actually the actual Corleone, it's like 250 kilometers away.
Okay.
It's not even far. And you see like a lot of things that was the old-fashioned costume of Sicilian people, you know. So it's pretty accurate on that. I know also that when Francis Ford Coppola came, asked also an anthropologist, a Sicilian anthropologist from my alma mater, from the University of Messina, to, can I say, to help him to screen what actually was back in time, without going into stereotype. Of course, was already a movie about mafia. Imagine like do it caricaturally, stupid in Sicily. Also, like this, it's another thing. Like Sicilian people are older than the criminal organization called Cosa Nostra. For example, we don't like to be associated culturally to that. Because Cosa Nostra was born right after the unity of Italy, 1861. The first population, the Sicilians, they were called primitive from the Greek when the Greek invade us. But they have city already. They have art, culture, religion. You know, so it's another pair of legs, let's say. Of course, as I've been like an anti-mafia activist, I am an anti-mafia activist because there is the bias on Sicilian people that are naturally inclined to violence or to this sense of honor. You can see also like in The Godfather. These were the let's say the outlaw, but then there was the Sicilian population. It was different. You know, the first thing I said about Sicilian people is that once you are there, there will be always some people which will be more than happy, more than keen to help you, to invite you for this eternal coffee, which is okay. Let's go taking a coffee, and it lasts 3 hours.
It lasts forever. That's
or like be a friend from Sicily means also inviting at his family, and when his family is not like I don't know, your wife, your kids, no. It's cousins, which is also Balkan. No? It's a lot of Balkan if you think about. Living there, it's challenging. First of all, because we have a high level of unemployment. Also, we don't have like a great infrastructure. It means that you cannot expect, like for example, to take a bus and going wherever you want at whatever time, like we do in Zagreb. So this was like a great extra. Because of our politicians, which are the lamest in the world, sometimes it's not possible even to drink from the tap. This is a thing that I could not deny make me like bad.
Okay.
because there could be like a problem with the pipes and you don't know what to drink basically. So it means that Sicilian people have to buy like this canister of water for drink, you know.
Sorry to interrupt
Yeah.
you. We're gonna have to continue on another time because the band is coming. So we stopped on Sicilia, and our next conversation is going to be like,
Whatever you want.
how's the seaside in Croatia? And I hope to visit Sicilia and to see how do you guys live there.
On the seaside, I tell you, we have all the variety. Low sand, low beaches with sand like in Caribbean, checked. You want stones, checked. You want dunes like in Morocco, you got it.
Jesus.
Especially like at my place, except the stones, you can find both. Because there is the Ionian part, because you know I live between the Ionian and the Mediterranean.
Uh-huh.
It's more Greek looks like. The Mediterranean part you can find also dunes like you are in Tunis or whatever.
Great. So thank you so much to coming to our podcast, and
thank you for
it
us.
was a nice experience. It was nice to hear your story. You know, I can see that you have a lot more to tell. So I hope our next conversation, like for a year from now, so we can experience what we went through. Maybe some other project that we will cooperate and.
In October, I'm going to apply. You know that.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So I'm hoping to do it with you all together. And
I don't know what will be the topic, but of course we are in
thank you so much.
Thank you, you too.
So thank you for listening our first podcast on English, and see you in another episode.
Bok.